Hey everybody. So, it's been a good year. It's been a good run, but this is it. This is our last episode of the year. After this week, we will be taking our holiday break, and that's something we kind of did last year, and I think it was good for us mentally. So we're going to do it again this year, and we'll be back with a regularly scheduled program after the first of the year when we get to the ProQuest season and things like that. But yeah, this is it. This is the last episode of the year. So
yes. Play it up a little bit. Like,
yeah.
Is it the last one ever?
Is it the last one ever? I just want someone to give me a compliment that I did well acting that one out, and I got them to bite, with like an emotional moment in their car. Wait, whoa, what? Or we're gonna get very quickly. We're gonna feel very bad the other way when the first 5 comments on the video are finally.
Yeah, called it.
Yep. I knew it. I knew you guys wouldn't last more than 3 years. I knew you were never getting to 3.
They've known from the beginning.
They're like that, like the LeBron joke. You've seen that, right? The LeBron thing that's become a meme. So LeBron said something after the guy from Migos died.
Yep.
LeBron made the comment. He's like, I was listening to them back in, and said like 2005 or something like that. Basically, it was like 2 years before they were even known. Like nobody knew who they were back then. And so then it became a thing where people were hunting down all the times that LeBron has made stuff up for no real reason either, right? Like it's
right. Just to
like lying just because I don't even know. Like he's doing it for theoretically for clout or something, for recognition, but it's that weird lying about something that's obscure and unnecessary. Like what difference does it make if it was that in another
2005 or 2011? No one cares. Like we know.
So people have made memes about it where it's like LeBron. It's like I knew John Wilkes Booth was a bad guy that time. That first time I met him, I knew he was gonna do Abe wrong. Like people would post stuff like that.
Doing Abe dirty. That's funny.
So it's become pretty good. But I think the first thing we wanted to start the show with, right, is that this week was the end for a legend. It was Chris Bewley's last day at LSS this week, and for us, we love Chris. We've worked with Chris a fair amount, and he's just
since like 2005.
Yeah, since like 2005, we worked with Chris. We knew back the first time we met him that he was.
You remember when he put out like funny videos like before working for LSS, actually to like go back and try and get some clout. Yeah, you remember when he put like he had his content, his channel.
Yeah, Chris has always been. He's always been great. One of my favorite things is his community engagement has always been that perfect combination. Like I always think of it as like whoever runs the Wendy's account on Twitter.
Yep, like professional, but also like really personal and cool.
It's gonna be like they're gonna say things like they're gonna be funny, but then they're also gonna have moments where you're like, oh, that was a good one. That would like when the guy posted the video, the LSS has failed the players video when they didn't reprint CNC in Evervest. Chris's comment was just the emoji of like the side looking eyes, like, like he had it was just an emoji. That was all he posted, and he was gone. And he never comes back. He like never comes back to those things. He will just randomly post an emoji or like a GIF or something, and then he would just kind of leave. Like, hey, I saw it. It was like his way of saying, I saw it. And then just moving on.
Chris was definitely one of those. He was one of those guys that you had positive interactions with, like regularly. Yeah. Like he was definitely like a positive addition to that. So really wish him luck and everything.
He's one of those guys that it's funny because he posted something one day. He posted on his personal account because we're friends on Facebook. He posted on his Facebook. It was just like one of those. I opened Facebook and I saw Chris's name, and he posted a music video for the band Beartooth, who I love. Caleb Shomo, who did Attack. Huge Caleb Shomo fan. Always liked his music. And I was like, oh
Since
my
like
God.
2005.
Actually, I think Caleb show was like from back in the early 2000s. He really is. I don't know how long ago. Like Attack was like back when I was probably fresh out of high school. So it would have been like 2005. That'd be ironic if that was actually when I started listening to Attack. But it was funny because I posted or I commented on it just because I thought I was like, oh my God, Chris, I love Beartooth. They're so good. And we talked back and forth and he messaged me about it. And it was just like that. Those interactions with Chris were always so positive and so good. Everything he ever did in the community was great. He was a huge positive for all content creators. Like every content creator who's said anything about Chris has just talked about it. And it's the classic moment where you're like, I will probably love Alex and he'll probably do an amazing job.
Yeah.
But I'm going to miss Chris.
Oh, felt the same way when Sasha stopped being our point of contact, right? It's like, you know, he was another one that was there from like the very beginning that, you know, when you find out like, oh, dude, I'm talking to Sasha and like you're communicating with him and like having really great positive interactions with him. And then it's like, oh, who's this Chris guy? Like, I know him from his funny videos, but like, what's this gonna be like? And then it's also great. So it's like, I'm very confident that it's gonna be great.
Yeah, it'll be nothing but great. Like LSS does a great job of hiring. Like, that's one of the things that you have to give them a lot of credit for. Is a lot of people would maybe fault them at times because they hired a lot of people pretty much exclusively from New Zealand, but if you've got good talent close
why would they
by,
do
like,
that, Blake? You know, why would they do that?
Yeah. But yeah, so we're sad to see Chris go, but we're excited for whatever he goes to. Whoever is getting Chris as an employee or whatever he's doing, they're lucky to have him, and we'll miss Chris. And excited that, I mean, I'm sure just like Sasha or Ian, anybody who has moved on from LSS, it speaks to LSS too as a company that they've maintained. Most of those guys have maintained their relationship with Fab and the community because it's just a good community. They want to be a part of it. So that's exciting, and that's always good to see. So I think our big topic this week, and the thing that this was maybe like the one thing I want to talk about, is I have noticed on Twitter, and not really much on I'm not really on Facebook much, but I've noticed on Twitter people talking about their locals not firing. And it's that time of year in general that locals tend to struggle to fire. But then you see some locals not having as much struggles. And it's...
Yeah, what did you said that you were telling me, like, when you guys went to play a game at one of our local shops, how many were there?
So at Battleground, we were talking, I hadn't been in a while because my weekly, I was going there every week. That's one of the places that I love to play when I get the chance to, but I haven't been able to go for maybe a month and a half because my daughter said volleyball. So I just, the scheduling hasn't lined up that I've been able to go. So I was happy to go back in and see everybody. It's one of those places that Battlegrounds always makes me think it's like the Cheers of shops around here. You want to go there because everybody 100%. Knows your name.
Yeah.
And they seem, they're very good at name recognition. A lot of the employees make a concerted effort to know people who walk in, and a lot of that has to do with the owners, you know, Craig and Michael being like that. They're very good about it. But I walked in and I was talking to them, asked them how Fab was going, and they said, yeah, it was crazy. Last week we had 27 people. And I was that's insane. And they said there were actually 4 new people who had just picked up the game, had bought some starter decks, who were playing by themselves because they didn't have full decks and they weren't confident enough to play. So they had 31 people playing Fab, 27 in an armory. So
that's crazy.
And I don't think that, I think a lot of times when you talk about the positive stories, people will defend their situation. You know, like we're doing a good job too. We're trying. We work really hard to push it. We're not saying you're not. I am always interested to see the difference in just how communities are run, because one of the things that we've talked about a billion times over, if we've said it once, we've said it 1,000 times, is that we're incredibly lucky to have, number one, a great community. The community that plays Fab is awesome. Most everybody is really friendly, really inviting, very open to help new players. People do a great job of bringing extra stuff. But then beyond that, we are incredibly lucky because we have amazing shops that run events. Like the shops that run them are great. Most of them are awesome with their pricing and run by great people. They're very personable. And then, of course, we have the man, the myth, the legend himself. We have Chris Bates. So we instantly get like a 30% increase in attendance at all events because Chris is the king of game promotion, right?
Yep. That's true. Yeah, but like I think it's like you said, it's important to point out that like it's that time of year.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that attendance is down, I kind of view this time of year as where you sort of congeal, I can't think of another word, like with your more core group of buddies, and maybe like you try to get like a couple select locals to fire, or you guys talk like, where are you going this week? Or if you're someone that like doesn't have that at all, that's post on Facebook and be like, hey, I'm just looking for a game. Because odds are, if you had any size community at all, like there's maybe, at least 1, 2, 3 people that'd be like, hey man, like I could play Saturday if you want to get some games in. So it's a time of year where a little extra effort needs to be put in if you want to, get the same volume of games in as just like rolling into a shop that's naturally hyped in the middle of like a prep season for like a big event coming up, or like you got a local that a big group of you are going to, or whatever it is. That's not happening right now. So just chill out a little bit. Maybe even take this time to like hang out and explore other stuff. Like don't get burnt out. Take this opportunity to not get burnt out, knowing that you will get re-hyped into the game again. Just don't unplug entirely, right? Like have your podcast or whatever. I found that like if I unplug entirely from a game, my waning interest will naturally just like continue to drop off, and I have to almost deliberately be like, I am making a choice. I want to get back into this versus just like naturally feeling the hype and stuff. So I always stay like plugged into things that I know I enjoy. So, but just find those people locally, And
one
on Facebook.
One of the cool things about Fab is that the community seems to be very understanding of potential burnout or people who have expressed some burnout. I know Tyler Horspool talked about it a while back, how he was burned out and he was struggling. Zach Bunn talked about how he hasn't played Fab in a couple months and is looking forward to come back to it, but kind of had a scheduled break from it. Sebastian, who finished second at that calling to Tyler Horspool, he took a huge break. He said he was just stepping away from the game completely, and then I think he just tweeted the other day and said that he was ready to come back. He was energized. Went to an armory and was so out of it that he just got wrecked. But he was excited to be back, and it was good to see everybody that people that he hadn't normally seen or talked to all the time, and. It was interesting because James White commented on that post about how he was back, and James even made the point that, it's important to take a break, to take a breather and give yourself some space from things. And I think a lot of times people assume that if somebody takes any sort of break, that means you're like retiring, you're not committed, you're never coming back. But there's something to be said for having a healthy relationship with games where your entire existence doesn't depend on grinding 6 armories a week for the rest of your life, because that
with individual games. I don't want the way you said it made it sound like you need a healthy relationship with games as a whole.
Oh,
and it's like you could just transition. That's okay, because if that's not true, then none of us have healthy relationships with games as a whole.
Well, I think
I would argue that we just don't anyways.
It's possible that we would be considered people who don't necessarily have the healthy. I was, before I came to record the podcast, I was downstairs priming some Marvel Crisis Protocol terrain because Jason likes to give us a hard time about the fact that Dane and I, everything we bring to the game table for Marvel Crisis Protocol right now can only be described as from the dark dimension where the lights haven't been turned on. Not like Dormammu's dimension, but specifically a dark dimension where all characters and
he doesn't watch these, so I'm just gonna go ahead and call him out. That's bullshit, because like I'll tell you what, Jason. Wait till I'm old and decrepit, and I need to get some of my vertebrae fused, because then I'm gonna have 2 weeks of nothing where I can just paint all day and have my entire Crisis Protocol line painted, and then I'm just gonna give everyone else shit, but only Jason. I'll just give it to Jason.
You know,
I won't give you shit, Blake. I
I
know that you do shit during the day. I've been working 12-hour days. I'm sorry, Jason.
Yeah, and I keep joking that, you know, my kids are going to be on break, so I'm going to have extra time. And it's like, oh yeah, I'll totally have. But that basically just means that, you know, my thing is with my son, we play Fortnite. I get in a good couple hours of Fortnite most nights a week. And I think it's just going to mean I might grind a little harder in Fortnite, get a couple extra skins or something. You know, it depends on what people get me for Christmas. I assume like this is like an interesting, hilarious thing. Is I assume that I'm probably going to get gift cards with like V-Bucks on them so I can buy stuff, because everybody who knows me knows that
you play with Zeph.
I play with Zeph all the time, and I play Fortnite for 2 reasons. One, to buy skins of things I really love. So like I have Boba Fett, and like that's like Boba Fett, Star-Lord, stuff that I think is funny, that I like. It's funny to play with Boba Fett and run around. But most importantly, I like to play Fortnite so I can buy the ridiculous dances and then make Boba Fett do the ridiculous dances. That's I live to make my Boba Fett.
Spending time with your son, or the you know, quality.
That's the only reason I even started playing a game.
That's secondary. Yeah. Making Boba Fett do the dances. That is why you play.
It's important to me that Boba Fett dances to Lizzo songs. That's just something that fills a void in my life I wasn't aware was present.
Was there.
I didn't know that I needed that in my life until the first time I made Darth Vader do a dance. Then I was like, oh yeah, this is it right here. This is living. But I think that
don't panic.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, don't panic if your local scene's slowing down. And it should have been anticipated, but if not, and you're in the thralls of it right now, like, it's okay. It'll naturally pick back up. Just make sure and if you want to be that guy in your local community, if you don't have one, just like keep people plugged in. Just be like, hey, like maybe give them through the holidays, because like it's time, family, lots of people traveling. Probably just naturally harder to do it, aside from being a good time to take a break in the competitive season. But keep people plugged in.
And I think there's something to be said too, where if you can find, one of the things that I've found that has been a really positive thing for our community locally is that a lot of the people, Fab is the point that a lot of us met, or that's where we connected or reconnected. That's the game that we play together primarily, and that's what we do most of our traveling for. A lot of us is we travel together for Fab, or we go to the same events, things like that. But one of the things that I found is there's a lot of the relationships that exist in that are relationships that happen doing other things together as well, like adding supplemental things that are additional hobbies that feel connected to us, or you know. And I think that's the other thing, is that I think you have to find more ways to connect. I love even finding different ways to connect Fab. I love what Andrew does out with Dice Commando, where they do their commoner pub crawl. So they just go from pub to pub playing their rounds of a commoner tournament, and they'll go to 4 pubs and play 4 rounds of a tournament, and then somebody wins it at the end of it. And it's a way to play Fab that breaks up the monotony of always doing the same thing, always needing to be a grind, because that can happen sometimes. And I think that you get this interesting back and forth, this like interesting dichotomy of a weekly event where going to a weekly tournament, people will talk about getting burned out. It's like, I'm just grinding all these locals, and I'm just, you know, trying to win my packs and win my prizing and all this kind of stuff. And then in the month of December, LSS makes a point to do something fun for the Armory kit. And what's a common complaint you hear? Well, I'm not playing for anything. I'd like, the prizing sucks. It's not good prizing. It's not good cold foils. It's not.
I think that might be the point.
Right. But it's an interesting,
it's
interesting that the same people who complain about being burned out or getting exhausted complain because the prizing's not good enough. It's like, well, what are you? Are you grinding for the prizing, or are you burned out from grinding for the prizing? Like you can't, like, you have to kind of find it happy. LSS is making a point to give you an opportunity to take a natural break and have some fun. Maybe play a different deck. Maybe play something that's not so serious. Maybe just go and enjoy the evening playing something. And that's the other thing is we found locally that some of the stores who have the best attendance, they break up their events. They're not married to just Constructed, right? Like,
yep.
I think that's the other important thing you can do is adding in some diversity, talking to your shop and saying, hey, maybe we could play Commoner. Maybe we could play Blitz. Maybe we could really go off the deep end and play like Spicy Blitz night and do something crazy. And
yeah, that was one of my most favorite local nights, was when they were like, whoever brings the spiciest deck gets the mat, and it's voted on by everyone there. It's like, sweet. Like, that was super fun.
Because it encourages you to kind of go back to A, being creative, and B, playing for fun. Because you can't take it too seriously if you're playing some goofy spicy. Because what did you play for Spicy Blitz night?
I ran Talishar Lexi with just Moonwish and Sunkiss for days.
So, right, and when I played my Spicy Blitz night, and I like the first one I did, my Spicy Blitz night was dual wield Oldhim. So he had 2 Winter's Whales, and the whole point was every other turn to swing hammers twice. That's all I wanted. I did it a couple times, and it was amazing. I think I had a turn where I got to go like E-Strike into hammer, and it was just everything I ever dreamed of.
Yeah.
Yep. It's just
gonna be like it was like playing the Dash deck, the new Voltron Dash deck. It's like, I don't know if I'm gonna win or lose this game, but I won already, kind of. So I don't. You're probably gonna kill me now, but I assembled Voltron. In my head, this is Exodia. I could scoop right now. I should start packing up because I just won because I assembled Exodia.
Well, and you know what stuff like that makes me think of is the most beloved and revered format in Magic. Again, people will argue otherwise, but it's Commander, right? Like I
don't know that people would argue that. Like,
right.
It's
competitive Magic players, I think, get butthurt when they're like, when you say Commander is the most played format. It's like they're like,
why do they get butthurt? I also because hate facts sometimes, but you can't get offended by it. It is the biggest format in Magic.
It is the biggest format in Magic. And I think one of the things that makes it a format that people love is the fact that you don't take it too seriously. There are people who take the fun out of it, right? The people who play competitive Commander, which is like that's a classic example of finding a way to make even the most ridiculous thing not fun. It's like you took something fun and you were like, how can I make this not fun? And I don't understand that for the life of, like, I don't understand looking at something in life and going, this is something I really enjoy. Let's make it hyper competitive because that will suck all the joy out of it. What's my favorite part about Commander?
Some people like that, man. Some people just like the hyper competitive, and that's okay if you do.
I don't mind competitive. I just don't understand
ruining it for other people.
Yeah, I don't understand playing a format that is, you're just trying to break a format that was literally designed to be casually like played to have fun with your friends. But anyway, I digress. So what makes that format great is that people have like moral win cons.
Yes.
Right? So if you play a Magic Commander deck so often, when you talk to somebody about it, it's like, what does this deck do to win? And there are people who will outright tell you, like, I don't really have a win con. I have a thing I'm trying to do. And it's awesome. And that's all they want to do with their deck is the thing that's really cool. It's like, how are you going to win or lose? He's like, I'm not really worried about winning or losing. I just want to do my thing. I want to have infinite mana and I want to make 1,000,000 bugs. Like, I don't know why I want to do that, but I want to do it. It's like, so you're going to be able to kill everybody with those? And you're like, I don't know.
Probably not.
Probably not. It's very possible somebody casts a spell that just kills everything or negs everything off the board, whatever. It's like, but it doesn't matter because you got your moral victory. It's Dash Voltron. It's you know, Talishar Lexi, when you get a bunch of attacks in a row and then gain some life and do some things.
When you I literally had just a checkpoint next to me, like a checklist next to me, and I just tallied how much life I made them chew through.
Yeah,
Like, that was it. That was my whole goal. It's like, I just want to double my health by the end of this game, and I came really fucking close because it was just Moonwish. It was just Sun Kiss, flip a lightning card, Sun Kiss into Moonwish, or no, Moonwish was the attack. Moonwish with go again.
Yep.
I had, you have 1 or 2 in hand because you're running full cycles. And then it doesn't matter if it hits. If it does hit, you get to go find a third. And then just boom, 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 drawing cards every time, gaining life. Oh, it was a blast. Just a blast.
I want to do that. So the next time I can make a spicy blitz night, I want to do that, but with Kano. So it's it's just life gain, life gain, life gain. I want to play as many life gain.
Moonwish, Sunkiss, Kano.
Yeah, Moonwish, Sunkiss, Battle Mage, Kano with pummels, because that'll make it even funnier. Is if you
when you pummel the Moonwish,
pummel the Moonwish, people just go, wait,
what the fuck?
What did you do?
Yeah,
you got to discard a card.
Who am I playing?
Discard a card right now. You discard a card. Nobody expects pummel and Kano. Just comes out of nowhere. But I think that's in my opinion, those are the kind of things you have to do. Chris Bates was just talking on the Facebook page, on the Twin Cities Facebook page, about how much fun they had when they played the what is it called? When you just play a bunch of different.
Oh, the Chaos Draft.
Chaos Draft. There it is. Yeah. They Chaos Draft.
I was like, what are you talking about? Which thing? Yeah, the Chaos Draft.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I said it was a blast.
Which makes sense. I think that, that's a great opportunity to do something different, unique. It levels the playing field. You don't have to worry about what you're playing against, because everyone's playing the same nonsense, and you get to just play the game and hang out with your friends. And to me, I think that that's a huge thing that can sometimes be forgotten in these games. Is, we were talking about that today, about how it's hard sometimes to disconnect from a competitive nature when you're playing games, because in your head, most of us that play games and have played as long as we have and have played at a competitive level, it's hard to kind of separate those two things. It's hard to separate having fun and winning, because in a lot of ways, that's the same. It's the same thing.
Corporate. I've definitely, so Blood Bowl has definitely made me, that has broken that connection a bit. That game single-handedly has broken the connection between fun and doing well, because it's always been there. As much as I've tried to, it's a casual, local, whatever it is, there's always still been a little bit. It would get usurped completely when I was helping a new player beat me. That's still kind of me winning, in the sense that I'm helping this person have a good time, right?
Yeah.
But if you're just having a casual local and the guy locally that's kind of an ass or whatever beats you, it's even though it's a casual local, it still feels bad. You still want to win that.
Yeah.
And it was less fun because I didn't. But I think Blood Bowl totally severed that connection, because it's the group that we play with and having the league and everything makes it so not about winning or losing.
Yeah.
That it's, just lets you have fun with the game. And I think that I'm trying to translate that over into other games.
Yeah, well, and I think that game in and of itself is kind of a practice in insanity, where you think to yourself, I'm going to win a game, but you set yourself up for total success and then just get dunked on sometimes by the game, and it's just the way it is. We were joking the one day, and I think that the perfect example of that in Flesh and Blood is something I've experienced many a time, where I've thought to myself, okay, they're going to kill me, but I've set myself up. I know where these certain cards are. I know my percentages in my deck. I'm ready to Kano for the win. And I have everything. I got the right card in arsenal. I got a handful of blues. And then you pitch to Kano and you look at the top card, and it's your Eye of Ophidia, and you just go, Well,
I was off by a little bit.
Well,
Yeah.
that resolves. And you try to put on a brave face like that.
Yep.
You try to put on the brave face. You try to pretend. Oftentimes, I've gotten to the point where I won't even pretend with Kano. If I hit my eye, I just flip it over, and I'm like, "You win, good job." I'm not gonna. There's no pomp and we're not gonna pretend like I'm somehow gonna have an out to this. I know you've got 3 attacks lined up, and I've got 3 cards to block with. I'm very dead. There's no way I'm gonna win this.
Yes.
But that's effectively that's Blood Bowl in a nutshell. You do a lot of things really well. You get yourself to what you perceive as the perfect setup, and then you try to make a dodge roll that you're like, okay, I have to roll between a 2 and a 6, and I have 2 rolls to make it on. No way this fails. I'm definitely
playing elves 2 up with the reroll.
2 up with the reroll. I mean,
oh no, I guess stunty. Yeah,
2+. I got stunty, babe. My snotlings, they go wherever they want, whenever they want.
Yeah, the thing that I tell people when they're like, "Is Blood Bowl like, is it a good game? Is it something I should look at?" And it's like, Blood Bowl is the perfect simulation of being a high school football coach or high school, whatever sport, insert sport here. You're on the sidelines and you're yelling at them to do things, and they might. And if you've trained them well, if you've given them skills, maybe it even is favored that they will, but like they still probably won't. And it's all about like just setting them up and giving them the best chance they can have. And that's Blood Bowl. It's like you roll dice, and they're gonna not make that dodge roll when you want them to. They're gonna fall. They're gonna try and hit that guy and fall on their ass. Like it's just chaos, and it's a blast.
I try to. It made me when we were talking about it the other day about how Blood Bowl can create you create perfect scenarios, and then things go wrong. You try to come to these like nice parallels in your head. And it's always, I always do the same thing. I'm like, oh, it's like coaching high school kids, or it's like playing Kano and having something mess me up. And then I realized that it's sports. It is a very good representation of sports in general, because I always think of it as Daniel Jones, the New York Giants quarterback, supremely athletic, got drafted in the first round of the NFL, is an NFL quarterback, has been a starting quarterback for years. This was like 2 years ago now, I think maybe 1 or 2 years ago, season or 2. And he, gets out, breaks a run, busts off this like wide up, and he's got like 30 yards of green grass in front of him to score a touchdown. There's no way he doesn't score. And then this first round NFL, probably top, 20% of athletes in the world just trips. Like trips over his own feet and falls down. And I thought, I would like to believe that Blood Bowl is a representation of like a lower level of sport, but even at the highest level of sports, it's like they do it in the Olympics. Guys like take off and trip over a hurdle. It's like you've done a billion hurdles in your life, and you just ran into the first one.
That's fair.
That's fair. Supremely athletic people will even the greatest of them are still going to trip over stuff and fall down, and it just happens. You can't take yourself too seriously, and I think that's the key. Is even with Fab, you can't take yourself too seriously. You can't take the game too seriously, and a lot of that is just understanding the ebbs and flows of the game, the ebbs and flows of the community, the ebbs and flows of attendance, the competitive season. You see a lot of people who are just taking time off, and it's a good time to do it. It's that time of year. Spend time with your family. Better yet, do both. Right? Find the cousin and get some little like 12-year-old kid, bring some starter decks and teach him what it means to have no extra income because you spend every extra dollar on shiny cardboard, right?
Keep him off drugs.
You'll be a good uncle because you don't have money for drugs if you're buying shiny cardboard.
It's true.
He's going to get addicted to crack no matter what. Just make it cardboard crack.
That's the spirit. Everyone knows it's either TCGs or fucking cocaine, right?
That's it. I mean, you got to choose one or the other. Those are your choices in life.
I didn't choose TCGs until I was older, apparently.
Till you were out of college.
Yeah.
Why not both? This probably isn't the appropriate time to say why not both.
Mm-hmm.
Also,
that would be dangerous.
Yeah,
that would be horribly dangerous.
Playing Flesh and Blood on like while actively taking cocaine. Yeah.
On cocaine, yeah.
Using your cold foil.
Oh my god! Don't.
I'm just saying you could like. It's a card. It's a thing.
We're not going to do this.
We're not going to do
not promote this in any
This
way.
is spy. We're not. It's 60. It's a 16+ game. It's fine.
Everyone knows 16's the cutoff for crack.
Yeah.
So,
just
crack cocaine.
Cocaine.
What else we got? Anything? Shorter episode today?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a shorter episode. We're going. It's that time of year even for us. You know, there's not a lot.
We're winding down. There's not a ton of news.
Yeah, I mean, even the news is all wild speculation about.
So why keep bullshitting? You know, we do that enough the rest of the year.
Yes,
so we can continue to just do this and talk about other games and stuff. But I don't think anyone wants that.
No.
So,
but let us know if you do want that. If you're disappointed that rather than call it an episode at like 40 minutes, instead, if you're disappointed that we didn't just give you 20 minutes of filler about Marvel Crisis Protocol or Blood Bowl or Gaslands or some other random miniature game that...
If you want me to wax poetic about the miniature games I'm into right now, we could do that.
Yeah.
Talk about them.
We can do it all you want. I unpacked my Mary Poppins bag full of miniature stuff this last night.
That was such a funny picture.
I couldn't believe
Blake's.
Yeah.
Blake's wife needed a bag to take to work today, and Blake's like, "Use my game bag. That's fine." And he started pulling stuff out, just thing after thing. What did she say?
She was like, "It's like a Mary Poppins bag." I don't know where I was like, I just kept putting stuff in here.
Every stack was impressive. Your backpack is not big.
No.
It's like not. It's not. If you were to see a child wearing this backpack, you'd be like, yeah, that's fine. That fits. It's not like a big adult backpack or anything. Yeah. It's not like a carrying backpack.
No.
That an adult would have. It's like a Jan Sport, like, standard backpack. Just filled. Just fucking filled.
To the brim. To be fair, it is the backpack that I take when I travel for Fab, and I will bring my Flesh and Blood deck box and enough clothes to get me through Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and fly home. So I can pack my deck box in 3 days plus my trade
for binder. A long weekend. If you need more than a backpack, that's learn how to prioritize. You can get your clothes changes, Grundies, your toothbrush, toothpaste, hair and shampoo. Don't pack that. They've got it in the hotels.
Yeah.
You've got your basics, deodorant. Make sure you have deodorant. Like I showed up to Vegas and walked around the whole event all weekend with what I brought.
Yeah.
And it was fine.
You do like Fred from Big Hero 6. You only need one pair of boxers. I go front, I go back, I go inside out, I go front, I go back.
Jesus. I mean, that's a little grody. I definitely bring changes there.
I'm not going to lie.
Dude, I hate putting on dirty socks. The Army, I had to wear dirty socks so much. I swore to myself, I will never wear dirty socks again. I will, if I take socks off halfway through the day, because I whatever reason, I'm putting new socks on. I'm not putting dirty socks back on my feet. Never again.
They don't take up enough room in the washing machine to not. You have the luxury. You have earned the right at the financial level you're at in life to wear 2 pair of socks in one day.
In a day.
Yeah. Like a king.
Like a king.
Like a
king of the castle. King of the castle.
And if anybody ever questions you, be like, you know what? I am firmly in middle class.
I drive a Dodge Stratus. I drive a Dodge Stratus.
I the other day I had to send one of my buddies who loves memes. I just send him anytime I see a meme that's any level of funny, I send it to him and let him determine if he wants to post them for the world. And it was what it's like. I've worked hard my whole life to become upper middle class, and then it's the meme where it's like, I said we, and he goes, I said we poor. It's like inflation. It's just like, oh man. Yep.
Oh,
super duper. It has nothing to do with the amount of cardboard and plastic I own in my house. That's not the reason I'm not a rich man in America. I could own Twitter if I didn't.
Have you ever done that and then immediately stopped? You're like, you just start thinking like, how much extra money would I have right now if I just like never got into hobbies?
You know, I have, but then I always think about the fact that people will, every now and then somebody will make a, maybe not even a snide comment, but they'll make a comment about the fact that, you know, if you have a hobby, they'll make a comment about it costing X amount of dollars, right? But then you realize that regardless of what those hobbies are, there are plenty of people who spend more on their hobbies.
It's true. Yeah.
You
like
know?
I've got a brother-in-law that does like the shooting competitions.
Yeah.
So like that's between ammo and new guns and stuff for the guns. It's like, I know I've bought that before. It's not my hobby, but I've purchased it. I know how expensive that stuff can get.
Yeah. If you like to fish,
fair.
even casually, right? Like even if you casually like to fish, like fishing's not a cheap hobby, even to do for fun. It's all hobbies cost money. You just should do the hobby that makes you happy.
It's true. That's a really good way to think about it, and thank you for introducing that to my thought process.
Look,
because when I was just stuck in my own little vacuum chamber here, calculating stuff out, I made it like 2 years in, and I was like, "Oh no!"
And then I explained
why would I do?
And I explained it, and you just Captain Holted in your head, right? Vindication.
Yes, exactly.
I feel so vindicated with my moment in life.
All makes sense.
Look, if it weren't for hobbies, I wouldn't have friends. So
I was single, living on my own, like just off post, like making good money for like a 24-year-old. And I liked games, and I liked Little Plastic Men, and fucking so much money. Yeah. Anyways,
I mean, it's to be fair, it's at least now it's cool. I don't know if it's really cool, but it's
it is. It's cool.
It's cool now. Henry Cavill. Yeah.
Oh my God, you want to talk about that?
Oh, the fact that he was Superman, but now he's not.
Now he's not.
Yeah, because they're not doing Superman. They're not.
I know.
It back.
Yeah, James Gunn as basically the DC Kevin Feige. Like I kind of get it, but at the same time, it's like that had to factor in a little bit to him deciding to leave The Witcher, right?
I mean, yeah, I think 100%. And as much as I love James Gunn, he might be dead to me now. So it's like the only thing.
Like you better not do Superman fucking ever.
There's just certain characters that you just
if you do Superman in the next 10 years, when Henry Cavill is even remotely as handsome as he is now, it's like it better be him or fuck right off. You know.
I just the issue is everything. I will say I did get excited the other day.
How funny would it be? Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, how funny would it be if in like 5 years they do Superman and it's fucking Hemsworth.
Liam,
yeah.
The irony. I just want Marvel to snatch up Henry Cavill and put him in something.
Yeah. Oh my God, wouldn't that be fucking amazing?
Yeah.
Dude, make him like Hyperion. That would be so fucking good. Because Hyperion's already basically Marvel's Superman. He's not blonde. Otherwise, like the Sentry would be cool too.
Yeah.
But like, dude, there's some really cool characters that you could make him. That would be really funny.
I just want him. I want him to do everything he's ever done. Pretty much. I love it. Anything he's in. Like one of my favorite movies of all time is The Man from U.N.C.L.E. That where he plays the American.
Dude, have you seen Enola Holmes?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, so Enola Holmes and Enola Holmes 2. He's great in. I love it.
I love.
It's not even the main character. It's
the other day I saw a thing that I guess he's gonna work again with Guy Ritchie. I think to do another like spy thriller thing.
That's awesome.
And which I love Guy Ritchie too. Yeah. I mean a big Guy Ritchie fan. because he just makes cool, weird, quirky. I just like weird, quirky, strange movies, I guess. I
Did
don't
you
know.
watch Bullet Train? That's
I have
quirky and strange.
I
movie.
haven't watched it yet. I saw the recommendation. Everybody I've read, it looked really good. Like the previews for it looked really good. I like those movies. I love those weird. I'm not like I enjoy a good MCU movie. I basically watch anything Star Wars. I like really well made movies about, you know, things that mean something, but I love good kind of in between movies where it's like it has a cool story and it's well written, but also there's a ton of kind of funny as you go through it. Like one of my favorite movies
Brad
of all
Pitt's
time is
character is
Baby
great.
Driver, because it's got a good story, but the movie itself is incredibly well made. It's such a cool movie. Like I absolutely love that movie. So
yeah,
no,
Brad Pitt's character in Bullet Train's it's really good. Like he's basically like a snatch and grab guy who like basically just came back from like a retreat where he like found a way to like center himself and wanted to be more zen and like get his life. He's always like really mellow. He's like, "Hey man, like I don't even know you," as he's getting punched in the face. That's pretty good. That's funny.
Yeah, I'm about that. I need to. Well, the issue is we made the choice, I think, to cut Netflix off because we weren't watching anything on it. When they took a bunch of shows off of Netflix, I just I had no reason to keep it. It's that issue you have.
We'll never lose Netflix just because Supernatural's on Netflix.
So we used it for like The Office, Parks and Rec, and some other stuff. But then The Office and Parks and Rec got moved to Peacock, and then more importantly, they also have my favorite show of all time, Psych. So it's like, okay, Peacock. Well, yeah, I'm just gonna use that because I think we get it for free with one of our random. You know, everybody gives out
your
free
Verizon or something.
Yeah,
like
everybody gives you a free subscription to some streaming service, and now it's like, hey, buy this new car, and we'll give you 4 years of some random obscure streaming service. It's like, okay, I guess. Is there anything even on it? And then you get really into like, you know, like Chinese gymnastics or something because it's like some random station that only covers high level.
I got this free 5-year subscription to Crap Panda, and like I figured I'd just like check it out.
I'm really into Eastern European gymnastics now, like the very mid-level clubs. It's like right out of college if you're not professional in the Olympic level. There's just like weird, you know, it's like people who were super into curling. That was really
oddly specific though. Like
yeah, that's not a thing. I always think of it like Tommy. You know, Tommy's super into cricket, which always.
Oh yeah.
So is Jordan. I think it's Jordan is too, right? Jordan from who did Flesh and Plot. He's super into cricket, and I'm just like, I'm gonna be honest. All I know about cricket is that it's kind of like baseball in some ways. So I might.
But like you're in the middle, and like you go all around, and no one wears gloves. That's cool. That's like a badass part.
Yeah.
But like other than that, I know nothing. Oh no, I know the bat's flat. No, it's like a little curved.
It's curved on the back, flat on the front.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
The only thing that
that's such an obscure sport.
Yeah,
so, the like, defining of how popular it is
in the world.
So obscure to me.
It's very obscure to me in that I don't understand certain things about it, like watching somebody run to catch a ball and then like throw it up in the air, step out of bounds, come back in and catch it. It's like, this is strange. Wait,
what's happening? Why are all these sticks in the ground?
Yeah. Every sport in America is typically if you catch it in bounds and then go out of bounds, it's fine. You just need to catch it in bounds. It's like as long as you possess the ball in, like strange to me. It's such a maybe somebody could explain cricket to me and I'd really like it. But
when I was in Poland, I was talking to somebody and I was like, just give me the brief synopsis. And they were like, no. You know anything about it? And I was like, no. They're like, okay, cool. You need to commit no less than like a half hour to this. And like, I'll talk to you. And I was like, sure, let's do it. We were just sitting at a whiskey bar drinking, and I remember none of it. And I wasn't even drinking that much. It was like a sipping bar. Like we weren't getting trashed or anything. Just fucking complicated.
I'm always amazed at how certain sports are super regionalized. They're just certain regions of the world, and even certain regions of like a country that get hyper focused on certain sports, and then the rest of a country or the rest of an area will just not have any knowledge of it whatsoever. A prime example of that is I grew up in Iowa, which is directly south of Minnesota. For anybody who doesn't know US geography, we share a border. Okay. In Minnesota, hockey is religion. Like, they refer to Minnesota as the state of hockey, right? In Iowa, there was no high school hockey. People didn't play on high school hockey teams. That didn't exist in Iowa. And there was like each city had one single high school age team for hockey. And there were cities that couldn't fill that team. But in Minnesota, like, every level of high school somehow manages to fill an entire hockey team. They might have to play 8-man football, but they can put a full team on the ice somehow, because hockey is a religion. And it's so weird that two states that close together are so vastly, like, are so far apart in their like association to the sport of hockey. But it's just,
it's true.
It's like cricket is just one of those things. All of us, like, it feels like us Westerners generally, like in America, Canada, whatever, cricket's just not a thing. It just doesn't exist to us.
Yeah.
But there is somebody I saw
for the longest time. Whenever someone mentioned cricket, I was like, dude, I don't even know. Like, do they have to specially train the horses? Because I was thinking it was polo.
Polo.
And someone was like, what are you talking about? I was like, they ride around with the big long ass sticks on horses. It's like, can you hit each other's horses? Like, can you aim at the horse and like be like, that guy's going fucking down? And like,
it's like, is it like
what's
lacrosse?
allowed?
You just whack the horse or the rider?
No, not like that.
You just take a swing at the rider, just knock him clean off. It's like jousting is like,
but with hammers.
I will say, if somebody combined polo and jousting, where you could like violently knock each other off and they were more armored, I might start to pay attention. I might.
Yeah, why not just get into jousting is a thing. You can do that today.
Yeah.
Like, that would be cool. That would hurt like a motherfucker.
It's like the combat sport. There are like people who wear armor and then sword fight in full medieval like metal armor.
And not like Renaissance Festival guys, sweaty men on Saturdays with like real actual combat.
Yes.
Like, it's like a combat sport.
Not LARPing.
It's really cool looking, actually. Not LARPing.
Yeah.
No, that's it. Yeah. So like the.
Okay, I don't know a lot of Magic people. When people will bring up someone from Magic, they'll make a reference to a Magic player or a Magic personality. I know very few of them. I know the Professor. I know Cassius Marsh because he was an NFL player. I know Post Malone. That's pretty much it. Like, that's about as far as I got into like the Magic.
The Command Zone guys, if you said their names to me, I'd be like, that's where they're from. That's right. I couldn't name them right now.
The one guy might be named Grant.
Yes, it is.
Okay, got it.
Nope, you're thinking. Nope. You're thinking of MythBusters.
I'm
just kidding.
I was like, wait a minute.
Rest in peace.
Yeah. Okay.
No, I think one of their name is Grant. But as soon as you said it, I was like, "Fuck, am I thinking MythBusters?" So I had to flip it on you quick. Pulled a sneaky.
So there's a guy. His name's Brian. I know he's a Magic personality because I think he is, Olivia Hicks, I think, is a Magic person who's started to do some crossover stuff. Like, she's done stuff with Fab, but I think they're engaged or something. And he posted a video of him LARPing. And I immediately had one of those moments where, like, see, this is why we can't have nice things, because he was LARPing, but it was, he was like competitive LARPing. So you're not doing it with an actual sword. It's like a foam sword.
I'll be totally honest with you. That sounds fun. I would do that. If someone was like, hey, this weekend, Okay, go ahead, continue.
No. Because you will immediately change your mind when I explain the fact that.
Okay.
So one of the issues is the physics of your ability to swing a foam sword versus a metal sword is very different. So when you had a metal sword,
What are you talking about?
It would look badass to watch somebody with a giant sword. Watch those guys, even though they're slow, it's just like, this is crazy, and I'm 100% invested.
That motherfucker weighs 9 pounds, and that's heavy as shit with one arm. Like,
full wielding that thing. When he gets like a full strike around and just hits a guy and he goes down, you're like, this is epic. Yep. He was standing like with it, like holding it as far away from his body as possible, basically with his fingertips, and just like kind of swiping and then jumping back and then swiping with his arm as far out as possible. And it was like the dumbest looking jousting I have ever seen in my life. And I'm telling you right now, jousting has always been weird to me because you see the guys
jousting like, or kind of combat.
Like, so he was doing
fencing,
fencing, not jousting, fencing. Sorry, fencing.
Like, with a horse.
Fencing, like at the highest level, is cool because it's controlled. But when you watch like people who don't know how to fence try to just like tag each other, it just looks like they're flailing their entire body and trying to stretch their arm as far away from them as possible. And that's basically what he was doing, was like throwing his arm out in front of himself, keeping his feet really far back and tucking his head and just wiggling his arm around really fast in a circle to try and touch the other guy while not being touched. And I thought, this is the problem with taking away the 9 pounds, is that now you can do stupid looking things and it makes it not cool. You're trying to mimic medieval combat, but that guy in medieval combat, like, they would just kill him because he just embarrassed their entire clan. Like,
well, like, give me 9 pounds of foam though. Give me a fucking cloud sword. Like,
I mean,
go.
At least then you'd have to swing it mechanically different, you know. It was one of those moments where I'm like, yep, I'm out. I have officially retired from LARPing.
Have you ever seen the what's the movie with, I think it's Paul Rudd and Sean William Scott, Role Models. You ever seen Role Models?
Yeah.
Like that whole setup. That looks fun to me. I would totally go do that. If someone was like, hey, we're getting a group together. It's just going to be Saturday all day. Just wear like some sort of costume. Bring like your little bags of sand that are like red, green, and blue for like your magic powers. And like, you know, you throw them at people. It's like, dude, that sounds fucking awesome. I would totally do that.
It's like so there's a big difference between, I think, like the LARPing. I like, they do it in Hawkeye in the series on Hawkeye on Disney Plus, right? Where they have the LARPers and they look organized and they wear cool costumes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just something about
that. Exactly. That stuff.
It's something about when you make it competitive, people find ways to ruin it because they're just, it's like, it's only about winning. There's no form. It's like medieval combat is cool. It just looks epic. But then when you like put a foam sword and you like keep your arm as far away from you as possible and you just wiggle it in a circle really fast, it's just not cool anymore. You look like a kid with, you know.
I cannot remember the name of this show. Oh my god, I found it. I was looking up Ultimate Warrior, but I couldn't find it, but I found it. It's called Deadliest Warrior, and there were 3 seasons of it, and I think it was on the History Channel or something.
Oh my! I think I know what you're talking. Wild
like, they would be like, who was more deadly, like the Spartan, or like the like the Genghis Khan, like rider or whatever.
100%.
Anyways, so I loved that show. When me and my brother were young, we invented LARPing without knowing that it existed in the broader world, because we would take pool noodles. We would spend like 4 hours making our weapons. Like, I want to be the Spartan. No, I want to be the ninja. It's like we would make little stars and we'd make this. We would just spend a whole weekend at grandma and grandpa's running around fucking each other up with like pool noodles. And like, you know, we'd take like blinds and like shove them into the hole in the pool noodle so it like wasn't so floppy. And it's like, it's just, so we invented LARPing basically. What I'm saying. I'm really happy I figured out what that show was called, because it was cool. It was really badass.
I liked that show a lot.
They'd take like the clear gel body and show you like what each weapon did going into it, and they're like, this was the traditional katana, and this is the traditional axe used by the Vikings. So when we put this together, which one's the deadliest warrior?
Oh, as soon as you said it, I was like, I know what that show is, and I loved that show. Very obscure History Channel show, but
yes, fucking amazing.
Lots of History Channel shows are obscure and strange and weird, but very good.
A lot of them are very good. Yeah,
very good. Yeah.
All right, can we wrap this?
Yeah, we probably should have. We can wrap this about 15 minutes late, as usual. You're getting 25% more of us than you need in your life.
So remember when we asked you that question of if you wanted us to continue rambling? We don't give a shit what your answer was. You just got it.
Yeah,
so.
You just got it. Free of charge, though. Like it was.
And I reminded everyone who knew what Deadliest Warrior was that it exists. You're welcome. Yeah. Merry Christmas. Enjoy.
You're welcome. Yeah. Have a happy holidays. You're welcome. Sorry. Sorry your party's so lame.
Everybody, thanks for joining us. Have a very happy holiday season and enjoy time with family. Enjoy taking some time off. We will see you in January. Peace.